So last year I was like out and about, and I don't know if you want to call this the wrong place at the wrong time, or depending on how you look at it, possibly the right place at the right time. But I witnessed some lives taken, broad daylight. It was uh, it was something that uh, if you never experienced anything like that, you're blessed. You know what I'm saying? It's it was something that I was shocked. I was terrified. I couldn't believe it was happening. Uh, I couldn't believe that uh, an individual would think so less of a human life that they can be angered enough or saddened enough or hurt enough. I'm not really sure. But to get to that point um, of taking a life, uh, that's a dark, dark, dark place. Um, and like I said, if you've never been in that type of situation, uh, you're sincerely blessed. But there is a number of us who've been through that situation, and I began to realize this as I started, the day after that happened. For a couple weeks, man, I was kind of rough. I was scared. I was traumatized. Um, every time I would close my eyes, I would see an image of one of the individuals that had their lives taken, and uh, it was it was tough for me because I was just kind of coming out of a dark place and dealing with a certain challenge. And I got to the point where I was cool. I was coming through. I was cool. I was feeling good for a couple days. Some things were happening in my favor that I was appreciative of. I got, I had an opportunity that came right at the right time. I was really feeling good about myself, and then bam, I see that, and it just puts me back in another place. And while I was in that place, I had so many thoughts. I started writing. Uh, I started talking to some close people and getting their feedback of what I went through. Um, and something uh, when the experience first happened, I was in such disarray because I was just trying to get home. Um, but on the way home, I called somebody, and they told me, because I was apprehensive. I didn't have a thought. Um, and there were two different incidents that happened after that experience. Uh, I went to one person, or I went to a couple of people to get some help, to give some information that might be of assistance to me in expressing what I just went through. Uh, and one person, you know, they kind of got on a soapbox and started talking that, we need to take our streets back shit, which I get it. But the way he worded it at that particular time, and the way he seemed to not have any tactfulness, or empathy about the situation that I had went through, I felt that he was more or less saying it because everybody's saying that shit, um, rather than understanding that maybe this person that just went through this, maybe they need something a little bit more than, the Civil Rights Act of 2021. They might need somebody just to sit with them a second and say, yo, bro, here, have a drink of water, sit down, lay back for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it put me in that type of a situation. And then right after that, I called a family member, and she told me pretty much the same thing, but in a much more uh, caring manner, very tactful. she wasn't trying to tell me nothing, to put words together, to even comfort me. She was just making me aware that what you saw is one thing. Now you have to give this information that you have to people that can really do something with it and about it. And then she said another thing. If something like this happened to you, wouldn't you want us to know? Something to that effect where, shit is real out here, B. And if you get in these situations, these horribly unfortunate situations, look at all the unsolved murders. Look at all the mothers who've lost children and have lived with this type of pain, not even knowing what happened to their child. Think of that type of trauma. I'm just talking about mamas now. Loving, hardworking mamas who went 9 months to deliver a child, and their child gets of age and they're out in these streets, and a lot of times they're not doing anything wrong, and they just happen to get caught up in an experience that they're no longer here, and the mother doesn't have any type of answers whatsoever, and that, along with the loss, and it's tough. And this is the reason why I wrote this book, Why We Don't Tell, because there was more than one mother who had to grieve that day. And we need to be very caring, and we need to make sure they're a part of the village, because isolation is a terrible thing when you have such a traumatic experience occur in your life. Isolation is the worst thing. And we do have beautifully godlike women who've had incredible tragedies like this happen to them. And somewhere in their being, they summon some type of power to use what they went through as a tool to help the next person who may unfortunately go through this. And they're eloquent, they're strong, they have an insane amount of courage. And they're trying to help the other ones that don't have that with them as well. So that's a lot. But it's also a lot that the number of law-abiding citizens who would never murder or rape or do anything to harm another person, it's way more of them in the community than the murderers and the killers and the rapists. There's way more. And what I mean by that is, if enough people who witness things like this start coming forward on a regular basis, the numbers aspect of it will tilt in the direction of wanting to live in streets that don't resemble war zones. There's more people who don't want this to happen than to want this to happen. And because it's more people that are of the righteous frame of mind, those numbers can provide the message that this is not allowed in our community, and those who participate can be taken off the streets quickly, because if more people come forward, the murderers, they're in their place, and through time, our streets could be safer. So I want to do what I can to contribute to that. That's why this book is not only speaking about my challenges personally. It wasn't also about just telling a story. It was for many people to look and learn and experience this book and talk about it more. Talk about it with the intent of creating a future for the generation behind us to live in a safe environment. Because if this keeps up, there won't be a generation for us in the back of us that we can lead. So we got to keep that type of stuff in mind. So, Friday, the book is released. It'll be on Amazon. It's only $5. You could pre-order it tonight. Go to Amazon. Search my name, Torrey Jones, Torrey Jones. Click my name. I think there's a link when you click my name of, there's the different work that I have there. And then Why We Don't Tell. It's a book in red. It's an ebook. I don't know if I will put this out in paperback. I think that because everything is pretty much going by the phone or the tablet or the iPad, the iPhone, it's more smarter to do it this route. It's better to do it this route. If you have a Kindle, whatever you have, that's your phone, your smartphone, or whatever other way. Why We Don't Tell is an ebook that I think that you need. Like I said, pre-order today. It'll be live on Friday for everyone who wants to get it. And I want to see our streets and communities safer, man. And we owe it to ourselves. We deserve it. I speak about us not valuing our lives. This is why a lot of these things happen. We don't value ourselves. We need to start dealing with that. We need to start dealing with this pain, this trauma. We need to start dealing with the childhood trauma that we have. We got to start dealing with the trauma of, whatever challenges that we have in our life that, there's a lot of things in life that we walk over every day, but then there's certain things that, nail you to whatever present time that experience was. You can never get out of that because you're on loop mode in whatever that trauma is. And you go nice amounts of your time throughout the course of a day, which accumulates to days, then months, then years. And this accumulates over a period of time. And now you're trying to walk through life carrying all that. We ain't gotta. And once we start realizing we ain't gotta deal with that, and we can value ourselves and show more love to one another, and direction and guidance and empathy and courage and patience, we show all this to each other. The things that I witnessed would happen much, much less. So, Why We Don't Tell. Go get that. And let's create a discussion about it.